Whoever relaxes one of the least of these commandments shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. Unless your righteousness exceeds that of the scribes and the Pharisees, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Dear friends, there is a book titled An Enemy Called Average, written by John Mercer. And this book, the author seriously challenges the minimalist approach we often have to life. I hear Christians who say things like, after all, am I the one that killed Jesus? After all, I may kill Jesus. In other words, what is the point? Why do I have to be perfect? Why do I have to try? Why do I have to be the best? Why do I have to be the holiest? You know, when you begin to think like that, Jesus says, you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. Take it as you are the one that killed Jesus. Strive for perfection, because Jesus tells us that if your righteousness is not beyond that of the scribes and the Pharisees, you can never enter heaven. That is to say, it is possible to be a Christian, it's possible to be going to church, it's possible to be saying all your prayers and still enter hellfire at the end of the day. Is that not shocking? That is the reason why we cannot settle for average. We cannot be average Christians. We must be perfect Christians. Last Sunday, Jesus told us that our calling as Christians is to be the salt of the earth and the light of the world. And we also saw that one of the ways we can be salt of the earth and light of the world is to help those in need, is to be charitable to the poor around us. The prophet Isaiah chapter 58, from verse 7 to 10, gives us 1 million reasons why we should help the poor. You remember last Sunday? He said we should feed the hungry, we should give drink to the thirsty, we should clothe the naked, we should shelter the homeless, we should visit the sick, visit the prisoners, bury the dead. When we do this, blessings come to us. When we cry, God will answer, here I am. So God becomes your servant. When you are charitable to others, your healing will come speedily. That was last Sunday. Today, Jesus Christ tells us another way we can be a light to the world is by observing and keeping His commandments, following the commandments of God to the letter, observing every one of them and teaching others to do the same. Dear friends in Christ, we are called today not to be average Christians, not to be minimalist Christians. Don't just say, oh, sometimes people say, just try your best. Just try your best. You don't have to be the best, but just do your own best. No, you have to be the best. As a Christian, you have to be striving for perfection. If you are not striving for perfection, then you could end up in hellfire despite all that you do. You know, in those days in school, 40 is the pass mark. If you score above 40, that means you don't have to repeat the course. But if you score below 40, that means you carry it over. So you see some students in school, they tell themselves, oh, let me just try to get 40. Let me just try to get 40. You know, when you are aiming for 40, what happens? You get 10 or you get 15. If it's maybe you are told, answer 3 questions. So after all, 3 questions, that means 30. So I just need 40. Then you answer 2. Instead of 3, you answer only 2. What happens? You may not get that 40 that you are aspiring for. But when you are aiming for 100, you say, I must get 100. I want to get first class in this particular course. Because you are aiming for 100, you answer everything. Even you may not get the 100, but at least you will get above 40. Dear friends, that should be our approach to life. And that is basically the point of today's homily. That is the point we should learn. Striving for perfection, aim for excellence. Jesus Christ gives us several examples of what he means by striving for perfection. Lesson number 1. Jesus Christ tells us we should avoid hypocrisy. Dear friends, what does Jesus Christ mean when he says, unless your righteousness exceeds that of the scribes and Pharisees, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven? What does it mean? Simply put, the righteousness of the scribes and the Pharisees was a righteousness of see me, I see you. It was a hypocritic righteousness. It was a shallow righteousness. A righteousness of showing others you are good in public. Meanwhile, in secret, you are a devil. Jesus Christ said to the scribes and the Pharisees, he says that you are like whitewashed tombs, which outwardly appear beautiful, but within they are full of dead men's bones and uncleanness. Matthew chapter 23, verse 27. Are there things that I do in secret which I am ashamed of? Everyone around me may be looking at me like a saint, but I will still end up in hellfire because nothing is hidden from God. Dear friends, let us avoid hypocrisy. Today, God is giving me a chance, another opportunity to hear his word and choose right. To repent from all those secret sins. God is giving me a chance today to start the washing of the cup from the inside before the outside. Compare Mark chapter 7, verse 6 to 23. Hypocrisy is a major problem of Christians in this country today. Hypocrisy is our major killer disease in this country today. Every Sunday, our churches are packed full with Christians. Churches are everywhere. Churches are opening up every day. You can just begin a church today. In less than 1 month, that church will be full with people. And you wonder, where did these people come from? Our churches are full, but evil continues to increase in our society. Does that not surprise you? Does that not shock you? In this Erejawa street alone, there are more than 200 churches, if not even up to 1,000 churches, just along this Erejawa street. Walk around now and you discover that all these churches are full with people. But look around you and you see a lot of evil happening. So these churches are not making impact. Hypocrisy is our problem. Even preachers, we who preach the word, are often guilty of the very sins that we condemn. We condemn one thing with our mouth, we preach against it, but in secret we are doing it. Even our policemen, our security agencies, they have been often accused of committing kidnapping, armed robbery, the same crimes that they swore on oath to fight against. They have been accused of it. So no one is safe in this country. We don't know who is who again. Many persons who are kidnapped, they report that those who kidnapped them, they were wearing military uniform. And initially they thought it was just a checkpoint. Just say, okay, come down, let us see your papers. Only for them to be kidnapped. So who are we to trust now? When the evil that you are fighting against, when you begin to do it, what now becomes of us? It's just like somebody steals something from you, and the person is helping you to look for it. Would you ever find it? That is what is killing us in this country. That is what is killing us in this country. Recently, we are told of a woman who was killed by kidnappers along with a seminarian. And a policeman went to the family to greet them, to greet and to console them. When the policeman left, one of the daughters said, I know this man that just came now. He is the one that said we should kill our mother. Of course, it's an accusation. We do not know how true it is or not, but it is possible. When we look at the rate of insecurity in our country, we cannot but say that those who are supposed to be helping to secure us, they may have a hand in it. In all sincerity, and it's the same thing when we who are preaching the gospel at the same time are committing the same sins that we are preaching against. It's the same thing. If as a Christian you stand for something, so I stand for this in public, and then you go back in secret and do the same thing, then you are hypocrites. And that's why Jesus Christ said, if your righteousness does not exceed that level of hypocrisy, you cannot enter heaven. Dear friends, hypocrisy is worse than coronavirus. Run away from it. Avoid it. Better not be a Christian at all than to say you are a Christian and you are just a Christian for show. Just a Christian by mouth, and you are not a Christian by action. Lesson number 2. The offertory that pleases God is forgiveness and reconciliation. That is the offertory that God wants. That is why Jesus Christ said, when you are offering your gift at the altar, and remember that somebody has something against you, drop your gift there. Go and be reconciled before you come and do your offertory. Don't do offertory when you have not forgiven somebody. Is it not surprising that it's possible that some of us are here and we are still with bitterness? We are still bitter in our hearts. And you say you are coming to worship God. What are you bringing to God? Bitterness? You know, when you carry bitterness in your heart, it's like holding hot coal with ordinary hand, with your hand. It hurts you and it makes your offering unacceptable to God. Jesus teaches us today that it is not enough to say, I haven't killed anybody. So long as you are angry with someone, so long as you utter a word of insult and call somebody fool, so long as you say that you are just as guilty of having killed a person. Now the same thing. They are all the same evil. Killing a person, insulting a person, carrying bitterness against a person, not forgiveness of a person is the same as killing somebody. So if you must be a Christian, strive for perfection. Strive for perfection. Don't bring a gift to the altar when you are still bitter with someone. Don't come to church when you are yet to reconcile. Some people even quarrel on Sunday morning. They quarrel and fight. And after the fight, they wear shirts, paint mouth, paint ear, paint everything. Wear their fine dress, wear canvas. They'll still come to church, come sit down. But Jesus is saying to us today that if you are offering your gift And remember, somebody has something against you. Leave it there. Leave it there. Don't worry, nobody will touch it. Just go and do your reconciliation and come. In truth, just as it is painful to part with your hard-earned money or donations in church, it is likewise painful to forgive and be the first to initiate reconciliation with someone who has offended you. It's painful. And for the sake of our pride. Because we often tell ourselves, now you do bad, not me do bad. Now you do bad. He is the one wrong. He is the one at fault. He should come and apologize to me. Jesus is saying, you go first. You are not the one at fault. Of course, pride will not allow you to see your own faults. Pride cannot allow us to see our fault. Just as we need a mirror to see our face, we cannot see our face like that without a mirror. So also, we cannot see our faults because of our pride. And Jesus Christ is saying, go first. It's painful. It can be very painful. When you think you are the one right and someone is wrong, and you have to still go and be the first person to apologize or to reconcile, it's painful. But just as it is painful for you to bring out your money and do offering, sometimes we don't think that one is painful because the money we often use to do offering is money that we don't need. We give out of the smallest we have, so that we don't feel it. We don't feel it. Like someone, a joke that somebody cracked one time, that somebody was trying to bring out 10 naira from his pocket. He mistakenly 1,000 naira fell from his pocket. He had no intention of giving 1,000. He wanted to give 10 naira. But somebody picked up the 1,000 naira from the ground and tapped him from the back and said, take. And he smiled, he was so happy. And he took the 1,000, he went to use it for our factory. Only for him to come back and check his pocket again and realize that there was nothing in his pocket. And he asked the person, I thought you dashed me money. He said, no, it is your money. It fell from your pocket and I gave it back to you. And then for the first time he felt, oh, I've really done up at you today. But just as it normally is supposed to pay you when you are doing an offering, but then it's just the same way it will pay you when you are reconciling with someone. And God prefers the other one to your money. God prefers that you forgive someone to your money. God will prefer that you worship Him with a pure heart, clean, free from all form of bitterness. God will prefer that one than for you to go and empty your bank account and bring to God. He would rather that you forgive all those who have offended you. He would rather that your heart is pure and clean. And that is the meaning of saying that those who worship God will worship in spirit and in truth. Unforgiveness destroys us. Unforgiveness destroys us. A perfect Christian is one who is able to forgive. You hear some Christians say, I will never forgive. I can never forgive. If you cannot forgive, then why are you a Christian? Just look at the cross. Just pay attention to Jesus on the cross. That is the God that we serve. It's Jesus. When you look at the cross, what do you see? What do you see? You remember the words that were uttered from this cross? Can you remember the words that Jesus Christ spoke from this cross? Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. So every time you come to church, every time you look at the crucifix, you should remember those words. Remember what people have done to you, and you are feeling sad, you are feeling pained. Jesus Christ was innocent of this. Remember all how people treated you when you were innocent, all that people did to you. Look at Jesus Christ on the cross and say, Jesus, as you were able to forgive those who killed you, give me grace to forgive those who have offended me. Give me the grace to forgive them. offer that thing to God. Let it be your offering. And say, Lord God, I offer this to you. Somebody is owing me for the past 10 years. He refused to pay me my money. I dash that money to you, oh Jesus. I give it to you. I will not ask this person for my money again. Somebody killed my child. Lord God, I feel pain in my heart, but I offer it to you. Let that be my offering. I forgive the person. That is offering that pleases God. Lesson number 3. Avoid lust. God is against divorce. It is not enough that we avoid the act of sex itself. As perfect Christians, we must fight against all those things which build up the desire for fornication or adultery in us, such as immoral looks, lust, indecent conversations, jokes, music, immoral literature. There are some books that you should not read, because they are not written for you as a Christian. They are books that corrupt your mind. You find them, novels, James Adichis, and so on and so forth. They are not good for you. Immoral literature, immoral media, pornography. These things you must avoid. Because when indulging in pornography, it's just the same thing as indulging in fornication and adultery. You are doing the same thing. It's the same thing. That's what Jesus Christ is saying. He said, it's not enough for you to say, do not commit adultery. If you look alone, just look alone. You look with lust. You have already committed the adultery. So you cannot say, it is a lesser sin. There's no lesser sin here. The sin is the same. It's the same sin. It's the same sin. So just as God will judge those who are committing the act of sex, so also God will judge you for watching those who are committing the sin. It's the same punishment that will follow you. So if you want to be a Christian, then there should be no lesser evil. Just do what is right. Keep your thoughts clean. Keep your mind clean. Keep your mind free from immorality. Avoid unwholesome relationships. Avoid unwholesome relationships. As a Christian, when you chat on social media, you chat with strangers, you chat with people, your chat should be an occasion for evangelization, not an occasion for sin. You see what is happening among our children these days? They say, you are using a camera phone. Snap yourself. What are you wearing? Snap yourself. Send it to me. And remove your clothes. Snap it and send to me. That is what is happening today. It's evil. Evil. People go into the bathroom and they begin to snap themselves and they are sending to each other, exchanging naked pictures of their private parts and so on. If you must be a Christian, be a good Christian. Avoid all those things because you are committing sin. You are committing sin, and you could end up in hellfire. After doing all that, you still come to church, and you think, I've come to church. No, trust and sin, unless your righteousness exceeds that of the scribes and the Pharisees, you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. It's better that you are not a Christian at all than you are a bad Christian. Of course, we know that the struggle to keep pure is one of the most difficult struggles that anybody will face, especially in this our world that is plunged in itself in immorality. Our world has lost its values. The sexual drive, we know, is one of the strongest of the human drives. So staying pure, avoiding immorality is a great battle that you have to face. You have to fight this battle. You need sacrifice, self-discipline in order to fight this battle. You need sacrifice. You cannot just say, I'm committed to pleasure. No. If you must win against the battle of the flesh, then you must be prepared to deny yourself. Self-denial. Self-denial. Very important. You must deny yourself of pleasures. Man shall not live on bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God. The time you spend chatting with people on social media, spend that time reading the Bible. Just tell yourself, I will not dwell on any immoral thoughts. It's difficult to. It is just like plucking out your eye. It's like cutting off your hand. It can be very painful, you know. It can be very painful. Especially, let's say you are already addicted to sex. You are already addicted to masturbation or to pornography and so on. Stopping it can be painful. But that is the essence of Christian perfection. And then you say, but this person is my girlfriend, this person is my boyfriend. How do I just end the relationship like that? Oh, this thing is, I derive a lot of pleasure from it. It's so sweet. End it. Cut it off. It's better for you to enter heaven. No boyfriend or no girlfriend. No Valentine. No love. No gift. No iPhone. It's better for you to enter heaven. No iPhone. Than for you to go to hellfire with all those many things. It's better. That's what Jesus Christ is saying to us. It's a battle, but if you are committed to fighting it, you will win in the end. Don't give up. Keep fighting. Keep fighting. That's why Jesus Christ said, if you want to follow me, you must deny yourself. You must take up your cross and come after me. The Christian life is a cross. It's not all about pleasure. I will be lying to you when I tell you, oh, God will bless you, abundant prosperity upon you, and I will not tell you the truth. These things destroy us. These things, they prevent us from being who we should be. In the same way too, married couples do sometimes face hard times in marriage. Marriage, you know, is not a bed of roses. There will be difficult chapters. You know, marriage is like a chapter. There are difficult chapters at times. You know, there are times in marriage when we soon begin to consider divorce. But as Jesus says to us today, that divorce should never be an option because it was never part of the plan of God. Love is for better and for worse. Love is for better and for worse. If you say because somebody no longer loves you, therefore you don't love the person, that means you never really love the person at all. If you say, oh, because things are not working well for somebody, therefore you no longer love the person again, that means your love was not real, it was fake. It was fake. You say, oh, somebody no longer calls you, he doesn't call me again, he doesn't give me gifts, he's no longer spending on me, so therefore I'll end the relationship. And that should not be the reason why you are ending the relationship. That should not be the reason why you are leaving the marriage. Don't consider divorce. It was never part of the plan of God. Of course, it is not easy. Just as it is not easy to remain pure and holy, so also it's not easy to remain in marriage, especially when your spouse beats you, especially when your spouse no longer respects you, especially when your spouse is no longer kind and affectionate as he or she used to be, especially when your spouse is cheating on you. It's not easy to remain, but that is the essence of Christian perfection. For the sake of God, you stay with him, you stay with her, and you remain in marriage, continually forgiving this person, continually praying for the redemption of this person. That is why you are a Christian, you are a child of God. And that is what Jesus Christ is teaching. Lesson number 4 say the truth always. You don't have to swear. Say the truth always. But it is not my fault that today's sermon is quite long. Even our gospel passage is very long. I hope we are following, we are paying attention. Lesson number 4. Say the truth always. You don't have to swear. Jesus teaches us today, let what you say simply be yes or no. Anything outside that comes from the devil. Matthew chapter 5 verse 37. Telling of lies is a trademark of fake Christians. When I see somebody who tells me lies, I don't consider that person as a Christian. I don't consider that, even if you are going to church, even if you have big position in church, you are not a Christian if you are a liar. Because telling of lies is a symptom of a crisis of faith. You don't believe in God. You don't think that God can defend you. So you are lying in order to look good. Why are you trying to look good? Say the truth. Just say it as it is. Say it as it is. You don't have to lie. Some of us have become so addicted to lies that even we are taught the lie before we remember. Oh, I just lied though. I lie, talk so. Because we are too used to telling lies. Say the truth. Tell the truth. So like as they say the truth and shame the devil. Because the devil is the father of liars. So when you are a liar, that means you are a child of the devil. Because the devil is the perfect liar. So when you are lying, you are imitating the devil. You are copying from the devil. And the devil is happy when you tell a lie. So always say the truth. As a child of God, say the truth. Say the truth at all times. And the truth will set you free. If they want to beat you, they should beat you. If they want to kill you, they should kill you. But let it be that you say the truth. Because when you tell a lie, one day the truth will come out. And when the truth comes out, you may not even be there again. How painful it can be when you are dead already and they discover that you told a lie when you were alive. So somebody will go to your grave and begin to insult you on your grave. How bad? I say, you when you were alive, you told me a lie. And that's why things are like this today. No opportunity anymore to come out and say the truth. So say the truth now. Say the truth now. Be truthful. Be truthful. And God will defend you. God will stand for you. But as for the cowardly, the faithless, the polluted, as for murderers, fornicators, sorcerers, idolaters, and all liars, their lot shall be in the lake that burns with fire and sulfur, which is the second death. Revelation chapter 21 verse 8. And finally, lesson number 5. You always have a choice. In all of these that we have said so far, you always have a choice. Very often, when someone is caught in the act of doing evil, you hear them say, "It was the devil." And you watch crime fighters, for instance, people are caught. You hear them crying, "It is the devil." What is the meaning of that? That they didn't have a choice? Are they trying to say that they were simply being remote controlled? So as a Christian, are you being remote controlled? If I even say that somebody is controlling you with remote, you will take it as an insult, isn't it? So why is it that when you are caught in evil, then you begin to blame the devil? It's not the devil. The devil has no power to make you do what is right or wrong. The devil does not have power. That is your will. Even God himself cannot force you to do what is right or wrong. That is what makes you a human being. Your will. My will is my will. The will of man is the strongest thing you have. Your will. You have everything it takes to say yes or to say no. No matter how strong the temptation is, when you are tempted, you see, the devil makes you believe that you have no choice, but you have a choice. We always have a choice. You always have a choice. God will never allow you face a temptation that is beyond your power. You always have what it takes to say no. No. Let them kill you, but resist and remain on that no. Never give in to sin. You always have what it takes to say yes to God and no to the devil. Our first reading tells us that God has placed before you fire and water. Choose. Life and death. Choose. It is because we have the opportunity of choosing. That is why we can be judged now. In conclusion, my dear friends in Christ, striving for Christian perfection surely sounds like foolishness to the world. The world we live in today has lost its moral values. Saying the truth at all times does not command respect anymore in this our world. Refusing to tell a lie does not command respect. Staying away from sex before marriage does not command respect. It used to command respect those days. That you say, this person is a virgin. But in this world we live in, this world today, it doesn't command respect anymore. It is considered like foolishness in this world. What a sad reality. We are the ones who can change it. Remaining faithful to your spouse, even in tough times, does not command respect. You go to Pierre Paulos, for instance, and you see people bragging about their infidelities. Just listen to people gisting and discussing. What are they discussing about? The evils that they have done. And they are proud. They are proud. Remaining faithful in marriage does not command respect. Keeping one's heart pure does not command respect. Because that's what St. Paul is telling us. It is considered as foolish in the eyes of the world. Saying the truth at all times. Forgiving others freely and continuously. You say, so you mean say this person and what he do to you like this and you forgive him? Child, you be fool. That is what St. Paul is saying in our second reading. He doesn't command respect. But we know among the mature, we do impart wisdom. Although it is not a wisdom of this age or of the rulers of this age who are doomed to pass away. The people of the world, we see it as foolish. But as a Christian, as a child of God, as one who is going to heaven, it is pure wisdom. You surely have a choice. Don't give up on your struggle to be a good Christian. Better not be a Christian at all than be an average Christian. Strive every day for perfection. God wants to see your efforts. You can make it. You can be a saint. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.